In this video, we're going to be talking about the character variable type. And as you could probably guess, a character variable type contains a value that is a single character. You may think that this isn't that big of a deal, and well, it's pretty simple to use, but a single character can come in more handy than you might think, and especially as you move beyond the scope of this course, they become even more significant, let's say. All right, but let's get started. If you want to know more about characters and well, in binary, we discussed that in a previous topic, and there is a cross-topic link somewhere close to this video if you want to go back and review all about that stuff. Okay. By now you're probably getting pretty used to the idea of variables and declaring them, initializing them, and even doing the assignments. So this should be pretty simple. There's just a little tricky thing here about doing a single character. The type is called a char. That's how it's pronounced, and of course it's short for character. And I'm going to follow this same pattern and call it my char, and equals. Now let's say we wanted to set it to A or something, and we type A. So you see a red squiggle, or the beginning of a red squiggle. This is not going to work, and as you see when I mouse over it, it says identifier A is undefined. So essentially it's thinking A is a variable. So and it very well could be a variable. We could declare a variable called A. So that's not going to work. So what you have to do with characters, with chars, is to put single quotes around it. Okay, not double quotes, single quotes. Double quotes denote a string of characters, and we won't get to that until the next topic. So single quotes denote a single character. Okay. Now just to follow that pattern again, see we set all these equal to 0. We're going to set this character equal to a space. If you try to say, well, I want it to be like no character, that's not going to work. There is a way to do that, but we won't get to how to do that till later in the video. You need to use an escape character. So we're just going to use a space for right now. All right. Now, as you might imagine, chars work just like ints and doubles and everything. Let's see if we can clean this up just a tad bit. I'm going to go ahead and put another comment here for outputs. There we go. And then here we'll have characters. All right. It's going to work just like your numeric variables. Oops. I was looking up at that. My char equals, and now we'll just go ahead and set it to that lowercase a. Keep in mind, characters by definition are case sensitive, because a capital A has a different ASCII code. A capital A has a different ASCII code than a lowercase a. Okay, so now let's just put another little output on here, and again we'll get all in to see outs in the next topic. So, but this will just output it. My char. Okay, like this. So let's yes, we want to build it. And there you go. So this is from our previous stuff, the 3.999, and there is our lowercase a. Really simple. Okay. All right, just remember single quotes, single character. Now I mentioned earlier about this this no character thing, and that we would get to that a little later in the video. Well, it's not just the no character things. There are things like, hey, what if I'm just going to go ahead and start typing here a little bit. What if I wanted to set my char equal to something like a backspace? Now, how in the world do you type a backspace? You don't. You can't, right? So what we need to do for things like that is use something called an escape character. Now, an escape character, it's going to look like, let's see, where's my backspace? There we go. It's going to look the same way, but it's also going to look like we're typing two characters. Let's make this /a. All right. And it's going to accept that, even though it's two characters. It's because you've got that backslash there as it's basically saying, okay, I want to use an escape character. That's essentially what that backslash does. All right, so let's try this to see what happens. I hope you heard that. I hope that came out in the recording. See, this is blank, but you heard a noise. That is because, let's hit any key to continue, finish. Let's see, there we go. That is because /a is actually for bell right here. So again, this is here. This is the ASCII Wikipedia page, and they've got some tables on here, and this is the link that you'll see in the course. However, the tables here might be harder for you to read than some others, so I suggest if you're having some hard time with these tables, go to a search engine, and there's a bunch of different ones laid out in different ways that you can use that gives you more of the information that you're looking for, and just find one that's easiest for you to read. However, in this one, on the Wikipedia page, you'll see that the escape characters are in this little column D, and I'm not sure if you'll be able to read this in the video. That's pretty tall. I mean, pretty small. The character escape sequences in C programming language and many other languages influenced by it, such as Java. Okay, so it just keeps on by that. That's what this column is. All right, and you see here that /a is for the bell, so that makes a sound. Now, it really depends on your operating system and your computer. A lot of times what it will do, if you've got a little speaker, there used to always be a little speaker right in the front of a computer, and it would be for system sounds and stuff. It's like when you first start up some computers, particularly desktops, they'll beep when you start, and that's what that /a will do a lot of times. But it's a sound, so hey, how in the world would you possibly type a sound? And this is how, using an escape sequence. There's different ones. This one you will probably see most often, and that's \n. We can go up here and let's just type that in. I'm going to keep doing these reassignments so that when you look up this code for this video in the code viewer, you'll still have all these examples here. So I'm just going to go ahead and reassign again. My char equals \n. Okay, oh, and let's not forget our semicolon. And we'll go ahead and recompile that. Okay, see, there's an extra space here. All right, that's because that's what \n does. It's like a LAN feed or whatever. It says, okay, bump down to the next line, and so you'll see that in a lot of code, especially outside of this course, where people will put one in the middle of a stream somewhere or whatever, just to knock the cursor down and start a new line. \n is a pretty convenient way of doing that. All right. And as you see, we'll go ahead and look back at this because there was one other thing back here. Right there, yeah, you'll see beside \n it says LAN Feed. All right. I did mention right here, there you go. There you go for that null character. Like I said, it's got the ASCII code of 0. So you can use an escape character for that. Sometimes this is called an escape sequence, but for this we're using them for characters. It's an escape character. All right, and you can look into all those other things, but you need to be aware of those so that you can use them. All right, I'm going to leave that open for the next video, and shoot, we might as well just minimize this for the next video too. Okay, so in the next video, as you remember or have reviewed from the whole binary and binary characters, the characters are stored essentially as a 1 byte, that is an 8-bit non-negative integer. Okay, so in the next video we're going to be looking at some of the qualities that a char can have because of that. All right, and so we will see you there. This concludes another video for Introduction to Programming with C++, brought to you by LogiKomp. You can access the full course by going to the course homepage at logikomp.com/introcpp. While we are proud to offer this course free of cost to individuals, we do ask that if you continue to use the course, that you support its production and maintenance by making at least a small purchase from LogiKomp Domains and Hosting. You can pick up a custom domain, renewable annually, for around $10 at logikomp.com/hosting. Thank you.